Seven's big league cameras at Kardinia Park as we turn the clock on to start the game between the home side Geelong and Richmond. It was the Tigers' Mark Lee playing his 150th who won the toss and kicked towards the city end. And Geelong, well, good news for Cat fans because Gary Ablett is definitely playing. On the interchange bench for the Tigers, Barry Rawlings and Brendan Barr, whilst for Geelong it's Steve Reynoldson and also Paul Couch. On the outer side of the ground, and already a little bit of drama.
Richmond must be crook on Darryl Cowie, isn't he? He's on Ablett.
Well, how's that for a first up? Yes, welcome to the club. You can stand the best player in the league as O'Keefe kicks in towards the centre, fisted down. Waiting there was Boss. His kick was smothered. Rioli tried to get the handball clear. Went wide towards Darcy. Darcy gets it across to Christensen, who goes to Bright. Bright steadies in towards the pocket. He was looking for Ablett, but hooked it in too far towards goal. And it's pushed over the line, but is it out of bounds on the full? No, it is not. Must have just got a touch. And a throw-in to take place. Well, here's the throw-in. Brownless doing the ruck work from behind and holding the ball is the call in front of the Geelong stand, and the first set shot at goal will come from Neville Bruns. 35 metres out, 45-degree angle. Such an important game for both sides today, particularly in light of what happened yesterday, and he's drifted that one across the face of goal. No score registered yet. Towards the boundary line, the Tigers should clear through Michael Roberts. They do so towards the half-back line, where it's fisted over the boundary line defensively for another throw-in. Quite a good crowd here at Kardinia Park in overcast, somewhat moist conditions, but at the moment, the rain's staying away.
That's the side of the boot, out of bounds on the full, and so we'll find the free kick to be taken wide out there by Andrew Buse. Buse called play on by the umpire. It's a nice kick from Buse in towards half forward, punched away by Cowie. A loose ball hand passed over the top. Sikorsky first on the scene. He's tackled, loses it, could have been penalised. It's tapped wide by Geelong. Picking it up as Michael Roberts, well smothered by Geelong. Roberts in there again. Sikorsky comes in and a pack forms, and so we'll find a bounce to take place about 35 metres out from the Geelong goal.
Robert, really no breeze here at Kardinia Park to speak of today.
None at all, Sandy. And I do notice I had Maurice Rioli down as number 17, but he's wearing 27,
27,
Sandy.
Yeah. They've added 10 because he decided to pop away, but now he's back.
Is that to keep him under the salary cap or
20%? That's quality.
Off the side, Jimmy Jess taps the ball wide. Richmond putting the ball forward. And that time it came from Walsh. But now we find Geelong going back. Hocking puts the ball forward, and it's easily taken by Bill Brownless.
Now, could he kick it from here, Bob?
He could. He's not going to, but he could. A good mark in front. That's an excellent mark taken by Graham Landy in front of the Geelong skipper, Michael Turner. Landy now, straight up the centre of the ground. Francis in the front, couldn't take the mark. Buse grabs it on the second attempt, plays on immediately. Down towards Ablett. No, Ablett can't take it. Cowie in the front position. And we might have found his position, Sandy.
So Darryl Cowie, he plays on straight away, gets it across to Anir, puts him under some pressure, but he's clear. Drifts the ball back into the centre, and playing game number 150. The General takes the mark. Mossop tries to smother, not successful. Roach out on the long lead, and he takes the mark. Well, he's got nothing up forward. If he kicked quickly and long, he could just about go over the top. But no, Pickering drifts back.
50 metres out though, Sandy.
This is a fair distance. The ground's in good nick here at Kardinia Park. Gets onto a torp. Perhaps a fraction too much height as Mossop spoils, but straight to Rioli. Morris swings it round into the square. No one at home, and Terry Bright takes a safe mark. Plays on straight away to Boss. He can go further afield to O'Keefe. Elects to go over the top because he was covered, so had to go to the space. Francis now. Puts Sikorsky under pressure. It was a poor handball. Can he swing round? He can't. Has to head towards the boundary line. Francis goes in to try and make amends. Keeps the ball in play. O'Keefe gets the handball away. Now Hocking across to Boss. Boss towards half forward. Bruns from behind. affects the spoil, waiting down his Turner. Tries to run through Michael Roberts, can't do so. Billy Brownless clear, gets the handball away to Drum, fires at goal and puts the first one through. Good teamwork by the Cats. And Damien Drum posts their first.
Excellent teamwork, Sandy. Brownless doing well. I thought that Brownless may have had the shot there. A very unselfish play by the youngster. Gave it across to Damien Drum. And one of the real goers in the Geelong side, Damien Drum.
Back in the centre once again. With Geelong, one straight goal. 6 behinds. The Tigers yet to score. Almost. The bounce. It's won by Mossop. Can't get it down to who he wants, however. No one able to take it out of the centre. Eventually Francis picks it up, but he kicked under pressure. A poorly directed kick, and the Cats should be able to get out of trouble. From the half-back line down to O'Keefe on the wing. Bright saying you can go short here if you want it, but he says no, I'll try and go straight down the middle to Brownless. Couldn't take the mark. It's going to be interesting with him and Jimmy Jess today. Landy's handball eventually finds its mark. Sikaski's kick, Francis. Oh, did it beautifully as he got it on towards Anir, who does it nicely, gets the handball across to his teammate in Manton. Manton up towards the half-forward line. Pickering plucks it in beautifully, but a great smother by Malaki. Still Rioli gets it across to Roach. Can't claim it. Now he's going to be put on a nasty angle. Can he find Morris? No, Roach. Twisting, dodging, weaving. Geelong fans saying holding the ball. Malaki tries to trap it in the pocket. He's under plenty of pressure. Drops it. Pickering picks it up. He's caught by Mossop. The umpire's allowing play to go on. Rioli comes out with it. Can go short to Roach, and he's got it.
It was great defensive work by Malaki, Sandy, to smother that hand pass. Maybe it wasn't a good hand pass from Pickering, but nonetheless, Malaki knew exactly what was going to happen and showed great anticipation to smother it. And although his opponent might still finish up, putting Richmond's first goal on the board because he's only 35 metres out, virtually of no angle. So it's Michael Roach. Roach well within kicking distance. Sandy said earlier, no win today. The drop punt from Roach through for full points. No, it's 1 point. Well, goal umpire usually touches the shoulder if it's a point.
Apparently had a very long night. But nevertheless, Malaki brings it back into play. It's a 5-point margin, and at the moment, it favours Geelong. In towards the middle. Brownless again. Well, he's a long way out. His handball goes astray. An opportunity for Jeff Hogg to half forward. Over the top it goes. Malaki will be first to this one and should get the Cats out of trouble. He does so straight towards the outer wing boundary line where it drifts over, so another throw-in to take place. Very important game for both of these sides, both aspiring to try and grasp 5th position on the ladder. Well, after Essendon's performance last night against North Melbourne, anything could happen. Tigers again, a chance to go into attack. And again, with his Thornton down towards Riol. Caught, loose, Christensen clear, can steady. Just tripped one into the centre. Bright is there, can run on. Does so now as he goes in towards the pocket. And the mark not taken by Turner, but he's usually quick to recover. Looks for the free kick and has lost it. Just gone back to have a word with Mick. So the Tigers to relieve some of the pressure, and there's been plenty of it on in these opening minutes. We've played almost 10 minutes of this first term here at Kardinia Park, in towards the centre. Oh, Billy! Don't worry about grabbing him round the neck, Mr. Pickering. Get back for the 15, and you give him another 15, Billy will kick this. Where's he playing, Bob?
Centre half forward, Sandy.
He's a long way out, isn't he? Ablett pushes it down. Roberts is the only one waiting at home for the Tigers. Gets underneath the punt. Jimmy Jess comes in. 1, 2, 3 grabs, and it's the Ghosts.
Excellent mark by Jimmy Jess. We spoke about Billy Brownless being able to kick. Nothing wrong with that. Not quite a Jimmy Jess one, but still quite a distance as Mossop punches the ball away. First on the scene is Eustace of Richmond. Hooks it back. Roach. Pack of Geelong players here. Mossop gets it out to Hocking. Hocking now comes across the ground. A well-placed kick straight into the arms of O'Keefe. Nobody there for him to kick to, though. Not a lot of movement there for Geelong. Yates coming right across from, no, it's Boss and Thornton. Oh, beautiful mark by Thornton. Plays on immediately. Pickering takes the mark.
He's been in good form, Bob.
Yes, fairly well held last week, Sandy. But up in Sydney the week before, a magnificent game.
Sensational, wasn't it?
Couldn't understand Tommy Havey leaving the same play on him for 7/8 of the game.
Pickering. Torp, not quite in line, and Roach can't take it, drifts over for one bar. So another point on the board to the visitors. They continue to trail in this opening half of this first term at Kardinia Park. Bruns from the kick out. He's got absolutely nothing to kick to at the moment. And that's just about going to go out of bounds on the full. Either that or Francis will take it.
Roberts going on and off the ball with Bruns. Eustace on and off with Hughes.
Short, Anea. They've gathered absolutely nothing there. Anea in towards the pocket. Roach is the target. 1, 2 grabs. And he did that, Robert, with relative ease.
It certainly looked easy, Sandy, but I think Malarkey has generally done fairly well against Roach. Uses his body well and plays him with strength. And if Roach continues to lead like he is at the moment, then there's every chance. There's Michael Roach. Richmond with 2 points on the board. Geelong 1 straight goal. It's a nice looking kick. It won't quite make the distance, and Mossop touches it onto the post, and so Michael Roach now with 2 behinds to his score. It's a goal.
Well, it obviously must have gone over, and he thumped it onto the post, Robert. It's the only conclusion I can come to, but he's given it to him. So cross out your behind and put down a 1 for the goal.
I'll have to, Sandy, and my apologies. Richmond now in front. 1 goal, 2, 8 points. Geelong 1 goal, 6 points.
It is deceiving, though, from our particular position here, but there it is. The Tigers score their first. Michael Roach, and it's Mossop who wins it out of the middle. Who's going to take it away? The handball comes the way of Jess. He's hurriedly onto his boot. 1 hand up, not good enough. Trying desperately there was Hocking, but he's going to lose out. Still chasing, Anea clear on the right half-forward flank. Oh, runs his full distance, goes in towards goal, but Darcy's there and he takes it on the basket. So Tim Darcy. If ever a player had a shocking run with injuries, it is this man. Missing almost 2 years. A poor kick to Andrew Hughes, who couldn't pick it up on the half volley, and it goes out of bounds in Richmond's left forward pocket, and they lead by 2 points.
So from the throw-in, Manton of Richmond. Mossop gets a tap. Comes out to Francis. Smothered there by Carey. Kicked off the ground. Hughes first on the scene. A nice piece of shepherding by Yates, but it was Eustace who picked it up. Yates then recovers, puts it back. Sakarski from behind. O'Keefe comes in, thrown over the back almost. Landy picks it up. The former Geelong player gives it out to Morris Rioli. Rioli puts the ball forward. It doesn't quite reach Roach, but he gathers it in well. Gets a hand pass out to Hogg. Hogg now pushed just as he was about to kick. Good play by Terry Bright. Pushed him in the side, so there was no chance of a free kick. And it put Hogg off balance to such an extent that the kick went over the boundary line on the full. So we find Geelong now to bring the ball back into play.
Yes, good pressure there.
Hocking to bring the ball back into play.
And here's the kick from Hocking. Mossop is the target, and he's down.
Looks okay with that knee, Sandy.
Yes.
Doesn't look to be favouring it at all.
I think this is what his 3rd or 4th game back, and it's great to see him back. Mick Turner, Graham Landy. Turner successful. And Mick's played some pretty inspired football in recent times. Turner's kick. Jess the flyer to affect the spoil. Lee waiting down, doesn't come to him, however. Yates under plenty of pressure, so too was Poole. Boss hurriedly onto the left foot, down towards the half-forward line. And once again, the opportunity for them to go for the Cats. Oh, Brownless receives from Bright. Billy's kick looks pretty good, and he's put it through.
Not a bad kick at all.
Second one on the board to Geelong, and as Bob Skilton said, not a bad kick at all. So the Cats 2 straight 4-point leaders over the Tigers, who have 1-2-8 on 7's big lead.
Excellent play by Damien Christensen there. It was Christensen who got that hand pass out. Great effort. Billy Brownless, Jimmy Jess. Number 16. Former Jerilderie and Assumption College boy. Mossop up high, doing well in the ruck. Bruns coming through, the hand pass wide, but he caught one too high as it was going on, so Neville Bruns will take the free kick. Bruns gives the hand pass across to Mossop. Mossop's kick smothered, comes back to Bruns, he kicks it off the ground. Turner, picked up there by Brownless, across to Turner. His kick's offline, and a 1-point kick by Michael Turner. There's Turner and Landy. Landy and Michael Turner, teammates for quite some years, so Graham Landy would know quite a bit about his opponent. Too high. And so we find Pickering way down from the forward line. In fact, there's not too many on the Richmond forward line at the moment. There's Morris Rioli and Marty Christensen and Michael Roach and Gary Malarkey, and that's the storybook. Sandy?
Yes, they're wandering everywhere at the moment. I'll tell you what, we've seen some enthusiastic supporters in our time, but there's probably none greater than a gentleman sitting in front of us today.
I'm sure our viewers can hear it.
Here's the goal! Thank you very much, says Craig Evans. He beats through his first and the Cats third. So a good start now by Geelong as they move to 3-1-19, leading Richmond 1-2-8 on 7's big lead.
It's an excellent start. Geelong playing quite well. They must have played very well down here last Sunday, Sandy, without really being able to put goals on the board early in the piece. Hawthorn running away in the finish. But Geelong's starting to put their game together, of course, with players like Mossop and Malarkey and co backing to the side. It must make a difference.
Here's the bounce once again. Lee right underneath, and he wins the flick. Trying to tap it on was Manton. No one able to take it away. It drifts back in towards the middle where the pack develops, and the umpire has absolutely no alternative. Umpire Castles and Saville in charge of today's proceedings here at Kardinia Park. Having played some 18 minutes of this third term. Mossop and Lee. Almost to Mossop. But again, no one able to take it away. And so another stalemate in the 19 plays 8, 11-point margin, favouring the Cats, but very early days yet. Michael Roberts under plenty of pressure, and was going to come out of it with a free kick. Michael holding the head. Look at the improvement once he gets given the football. Plus 15 metres, so they all drift down towards the Richmond forward line. By gee, it's congested. Roach comes over the top, can't complete the mark. Mossop tries to get it across to Bright. Can't do so. Manton was there. He can't do anything with it. Christensen goes in over the top, and the umpire eventually decides to come in and have another bounce. But Richmond have pushed it down towards their left forward pocket region.
I think both sides have got 8 rovers out there, Sandy.
I would say, Bob, a minimum of 8. Mossop. Tap wide. Hogg. Boss. A chance. Can he pick it up? Can he pick it up? No, he can't. Bruns. Rioli. And Morris Rioli marks forward of centre. Wearing now number 27. We know him, of course, extremely well, wearing the 17 Guernsey. Poor kick. Poor tackle. But a very, very poor tackle on that occasion by Steve Hocking. Gee. So the Tigers now an opportunity of coming to within 7 points. The Cats, after they made such a good start.
Come a long way from out there, Sandy. The kick will travel at least 50 metres is to score. The lead there coming from Manton, ignored. Manton boys have got a free kick there. The kick from Pickering is offline, and 1 point to result. And Michael Pickering with 2 points on the board.
Actually, he was staggering up in Sydney, wasn't he, Bob? Because he got some ripper goals, but he missed some sitters.
Well, he was footsore that day, Sandy. He
got so many kicks.
Yeah. Yates, an excellent mark. Thought about the hand pass. Now elects to play on immediately. Comes wide. O'Keefe is the player he's looking for. Punched away by Francis. Francis taps the ball on, was held. And no free kick coming. So a boundary throw-in will take place. Right in front of the players' race. From the throw-in. Mark Lee of Richmond. John Mossop, Geelong. No tap. No clear tap, that is. Boss was a player in there for Geelong. So too Thornton and Francis for Richmond. And the umpire decides it's time for a bounce. Big pack of players around the bounce. Lee gets the tap. Trying to tap it on was Chris Smith. And once again, the umpire decides we'll have a bounce. A bounce on centre wing. Members' side of the ground. 19 points to 10. Mossop got the ball down to Buse. His short kick. Tapped on by Boss. Damien Christensen tried to get it. Chris Smith in there for Geelong. For Richmond, I should say, I'm sorry. And Smith couldn't get the ball clear. Craig Smith, not Chris Smith.
Memory going back to Fitzroy days.
You're right, Sammy. Mossop gets the ball down. Eustace takes it. O'Keefe got it out. It's tapped on by Lee. Marty Christensen tried to tap it on. Gets a push in the back from Smith. And Marty Christensen, much to the disgust of my co-commentator, will come out with the free kick.
So Christensen from centre wing. One's only got to drop one's pen, and Robert gets startled nowadays. Christensen's kick in towards half forward. We still...
I did work with a few South Australians the other week.
Have not sighted Ablett. This is Yates. Playing game number 100. Ablett, will he wait and leave it for Bright?
I don't think he's fit, Sammy.
Well, why is he there? Look at that. He tries to throw it out the back and has lost it.
It's just his movements, Andy. You know,
he looks stiff.
There's the movements of a normal Gary Ablett, and there's the movement of the one that's out there today.
Ania's kick. O'Keefe a chance. Needs support. Or lack of talking there between he and Carey, but Carey butters up to do some good shepherding work. He had Buse short, but elected to go longer. Billy comes over the top, and he leaves Jimmy Jess at the back. And Jess doesn't mind that because he can clear for the Tigers towards Pickering, who's just forward of centre wing. Michael Pickering's kick towards Francis in the pocket, and he takes a solid mark. Plenty of opposition from O'Keefe. Now, whether Francis could kick it from here, I question that. Oh, he's got 15. 15 metres. So an excellent opportunity now.
They give it for anything these days, Sandy.
Yep. They have a cold. Blow your nose and cop it. Here's the kick from Peter Francis. Beautifully directed.
Yeah, but 15 metres made all the difference.
Well, it gave him a goal. And it's now 2-3 to Geelong, 3-1 on Seven's big lead.
There must be... You just cannot allow players to run on. You must be allowed to run across and put your hands up. And your coach would pull you off the ground if you just let a player play on without any worries. And so if a player's going to handball or play on, they give 15 metres to the player on the mark.
It's a catch-22 because you'd think if they did that, they'd get reported for time wasting, which is another incredible story in itself.
I will not comment. From the bounce. Mossop again gets it. Our pointing mark there at the moment. A hand pass came from Smith to O'Neill. Back to Jess. And Jess with a long kick. Pickering, I think, fell for the three-card trick.
Called out.
I think Gary Malarkey said leave it. He left it. Malarkey gave it across to Marty Christensen. Damien Christensen and Drum's out there. And Drum tried to tap it back. But couldn't do so, so we'll find a throw-in to take place.
I'll tell you what, Bobby, just having a look round, there are a fair few big names that have hardly been cited in this game as yet.
Which ones, Sandy?
Well, I was just watching Carey kick that ball, but I mean, has Trevor Poole had a touch? Has Gary Ablett had a touch apart from a throw?
No. Craig Evans
Thank you very much. He's already kicked one goal, Craig Evans. Down towards Ablett in that forward pocket.
Touched it.
He did. That's it. There's no need to be flippant. I'm merely stating a fact, and you're carrying on like an uncooked pork chop.
Ablett not looking himself, Sandy. I do not think he's fit, and I think Geelong are taking a big gamble. Now we'll probably finish like kicking 7. It's Michael Turner's kick is offline.
It's usually the way, isn't it?
Through for 1 point.
Oh, dear. So another behind on the board of the Cats. They move to 3-2. Richmond at 2-3. Plenty of pushing and shoving going on there. The umpire elects it to go unnoticed. Jeffrey Hogg. No mark taken. Pull. Can't get it. Anir at the bottom of the pack. Smothered. Carey tries to burst his way clear. Can't do so. Hughes is down there, and eventually Mark Eustace picks it up. Goes on to the left foot and puts it straight down the throat of Marty Christensen.
Had a good year, Sandy.
Yes, he has. Christensen at centre wing. It's going to be one of those games, though, where everyone's down one end of the ground all day. It's going to make it difficult.
There's no wind, so it shouldn't be that way.
No, I know. I can't work it out. But nevertheless, Thornton has it. And his kick under pressure has gone out of bounds on the floor.
Haven't been able to understand Richmond's forward play at all, to be quite honest.
Here's an opportunity for Geelong through Damien Christensen. Down towards the half-forward line. Roberts, Rioli. Wider to Walsh, who goes even wider to looking for Anir, but Carey's with him. Doesn't stop him getting the hand pass away. Back to Walsh, onto the left foot this time, and Trevor Poole, who we mentioned hasn't had a touch, as Bobby said, will now probably come out in 7. I mentioned Poole. Let's see what he can do. He's an exciting young player. It's a fair kick too into the square. John Mossop just gets his hand to it and drifts over for one behind. So, Tigers move to 2-4-16, trailing Geelong 3-2-20.
A very versatile player for Richmond, Trevor Poole. He's played just about everywhere on the ground, I think. Last year's best and fairest winner. As we find Carey out wide, plays on immediately, puts it down. Marty Christensen gets a hip and shoulder that time. And we find Thornton giving the hand pass across, putting his teammate under pressure. But now it's with Rioli. Rioli's hand pass out wide and near. Coming through was Roach. Didn't quite handle it cleanly. Damien Christensen gets it across to Marty Christensen. And now Malarkey with a long kick. Groundless, almost took the mark. Kicked off the ground by Jess. Landy coming through, taps it over the boundary line, and the throw-in to take place midway between centre wing and half-forward flank for the Geelong side, with Geelong 3-2-20, Richmond 2-4-16.
Well into time on, and there won't be a lot of time on in this game. Jess, well, the Ghost heads towards the boundary line. His immediate opposition in Billy Brownless was there. He applies the pressure, but the ball has already drifted over the line, so another throw will take place. 4 points the margin, favouring the home side Geelong. Here's the throw in. Lee with both hands up on that occasion to Michael Roberts, who's picking up plenty of kicks. It was number 5. Now Pickering. Oh, beautiful kick. And he finds John Manton at half-forward. Manton was the exact opposite. A perfect shocker. Christensen picks it up, puts it out wide in front of O'Keefe. He's in front of Francis, but the siren's in front of them both. And so at a quarter time here at Kardinia Park, we see Geelong 3-2-20, leading Richmond 2-4-16. Into the second quarter here at Kardinia Park, and it's the home side, the Cats, leading by 4 points. Steve Reynoldsson has come onto the ground at centre half forward. Looks like Brownless down to full forward, and Ablett out onto the flank, where according to Bobby Skilton, that's where he belongs. Reynoldsson, freshman on the ground, gets his first touch as he finds Yates, and in turn Ablett. Bobby nudges me and said that's where he should be. Well, that's where he is. Now, he'll probably kick this from here. He's only 80 metres out. Oh, and it's a beautiful looking drop punt too, but he's well off target from 1.0. So, the margin is now 5 points.
I also think that's where Brownless should be.
And is Reynoldsson the answer at half forward?
No.
On that position now, but no one there to help Bruns. Cowie came through, and going to receive a free kick. Darryl Cowie started his football career with at senior level with Central Districts in South Australia.
Full senior level.
Then went to St Kilda and is now with Richmond. I don't think it bears any comment.
So from the throwing. Half forward flank for Geelong. No ruckman there. Eustace comes out with it. Is tackled, loses it. Ball play on by the umpire. I would have penalised him. Pickering takes the mark after Rioli puts the ball forward. Smith takes the hand pass. A nice looking pass, just doesn't quite reach Roach. Taps it out looking for Lee. A favourable bounce, and Mark Lee puts it out wide to find O'Neill. O'Neill puts it out long and wide. But Geelong, good in defence as Marty Christensen takes it. Puts it long and wide towards the wing. Sikorsky, after Evans had fallen, got the favourable bounce, hooks it back towards half forward. Francis in the front. O'Keefe punches it away. Hughes picks the ball up, shows a good turn of speed. Thought about the hand pass, ran a good 10 or 15 metres. Gets a floating kick forward. Ablett couldn't take it. Turner comes out with it, loses it completely. Roberts takes it and gives it across now with a hand pass to Rioli. Straight down towards half forward. Pickering in the front, and he is held according to the umpire. And I thought that Pickering was laying back. It might have been his fault just as much as it was Hocking's. But nonetheless, the umpire finds a free kick to Pickering. Goes short with a lead from Roach. And Hughes was put over behind play. Nothing nasty or anything, just tripped over.
But he does ask the question.
And he does come back at Eustace. And Michael Roach. One goal on the board personally, one out of Richmond's two. The other goal kicker was Peter Francis, but Roach only 30 metres out, directly in front, should have no trouble. So Michael Roach. The leading goal kickers in VFL football. Kick from Roach. Goal umpire comes across, but not enough to say it's a point. It's right through, and it's 2 goals to Michael Roach. So Roach with 2 goals on the board. Richmond go to 3 goals for 22. A 1-point lead over Geelong. 3-3-21.
Yes, 2 goals won. Michael Roach for the day so far, out of that 3-4. And as Bobby said, a 1-point margin favouring the visitors. He gave us that stunning win up in Sydney, but then the next week fell a little flat. Can they get back into business today? Lee, Hughes, tackled quickly, too quickly. In fact, he lost it. Rioli, caught by Drum. Yates, under pressure, also loses it. Anea clear. Oh, he runs past 2. Goes wide with the hand pass to Thornton. In towards full forward, and the bouncing ball drifts over for 1 behind. So Ron Thornton scores his first, and it's 3-5, playing 3-3. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the second term here at Kardinia Park as Malaki goes to the outer side. Mossop did a little bit of pushing and shoving, but was allowed to get away with it. Boss under plenty of pressure. Rioli applying that pressure. And the umpire says, no, gentlemen, a line ball will have a bounce. Still in Richmond's forward line. With a big pack of players on this ball. Lee wins it, taps it, flicks it over the back. Paul tries to do likewise, going down towards that left pocket region, but Steve Hocking is there, applying plenty. So too is Christensen, but his kick goes out of bounds on the full. So once again, Richmond will bring the ball back into attack and head down towards Michael Roach, who's patiently waiting at full forward. Francis. Not sure what to do. He's going to go short. Now is eventually called to play on because he was wasting enough time. Lee, but Mossop comes over the back. Here's a chance. The handball is wide. Walsh takes it. Former boy from Hamilton just drifts it in short, back towards Anea at centre half forward. John Anea is right on the 50-metre line and is giving himself a chance here. Gets behind a drop punt. Good-looking kick deep into the square, and a good mark taken for the Tigers by John Manton. So Manton right in the square.
Making a comparison with the way he came across from the side was reminiscent of one Royce Hart. You knew what I was going to say then, Sandy.
Well, we did actually get him on television in South Australia, Bob. They have TV there. Here's the kick from Manton. And he's put it straight through the middle. So the Tigers score their fourth. 4-5, plays 3-3 on Seven's big lead.
That's a nice goal by John Manton. A greatly improved player, actually. The day that Richmond beat the Swans up in Sydney, Manton's first quarter was absolutely excellent.
So back in the middle once again, and the Tigers open up an 8-point advantage. There's no breeze, conditions are overcast, but we might escape without any rain. Lee goes for a mighty thump, but it's partly nullified. Drum to the half-forward line. Turner, be pretty quiet, Nick. He's got a chance now. They need a goal badly. He'll be on the left foot. He goes with a low trajectory punt. He's put it through. Great goal by Mick Turner, a captain's goal for the Cats, and that's exactly what they wanted for the quick reply. The margin is now 2 points on Seven's big lead.
It was a great goal, Sandy. Michael Turner, very deliberate in the way he approached that shot, and actually was almost a short pass that Turner did. He made no attempt to put the ball high in the air, and it was almost as though he was passing it towards the goal umpire. An excellent goal, and as Sandy called it, a great captain's goal. From the bounce, Mossop against Lee. Richmond's Lee gets the big punch, taken by Manton. A wide hand pass towards Smith. Gets the bounce. Dummies beautifully, straightens up and goes goal when it's a nice looking kick. Roach touched on the line. Snap. Good defensive work by Hocking. Roach should have shepherded the ball through. It would have gone through for a goal. And now we find Geelong repulsing the attack.
Good play by Craig Smith, wasn't it?
Excellent play. Darcy's kick dropping short. Manton comes through again. His kick going short. Rioli diving in, gets a push in the back as he did it. And so we'll take the free kick. He's within kicking distance. Quite an acute angle, but he's only 30 metres out from goal. So Morris Rioli. By saying go back around a little bit. Morris tried to sneak a little bit, and why not? And the former Melville Islander will go goalward, across the face of goal, and through for 1 point. One-point kick by Morris Rioli takes Richmond to 4-6 with Geelong on 4-3. So a 3-point margin in favour of Richmond as Terry Bright puts the ball back. Too high for both ruckmen. At the back it's Manton. A hand pass finds Ania. Ania swinging the ball back with an excellent mark taken there by Malarkey, who plays on immediately. Puts it right out of the danger zone with a long kick. Jess was up high. Sikorsky tried to lend support. The ball tapped forward where Damien Drum picks it up. Has plenty of time to steady. Go forward looking for Brownless. Punched away by Cowie. Down to Turner. The hand pass across to Hughes. Runs into the open goal and puts it out of the ground.
Good play by Brownless. He couldn't mark off, but he tapped it cleverly forward. And Andrew Hughes almost taunting the opposition, doing a Carl Lewis and saying, catch me if you can. Well, they couldn't, and it was a goal.
Yes. Taking a bit of a gamble, but I don't think he's appreciated the close attention he's had so far from Mark Eustace.
So 3 points the margin, 5-3 Geelong. Richmond are 4-6. 10 effective scoring shots, plays 8.
Geelong runner having a word to Andrew Hughes.
John Devine might
He's the slowest runner in the league, that little fella, Mickey.
Yeah, little Mickey.
Hey?
He loves it though, doesn't he?
He's the slowest in the league.
You're having a stir. Mind you, you've been doing that for years as we go back for the centre bounce.
John Mossop.
Do you think Mark Lee's perhaps crawled his way back into the game in this turn, Bob?
A couple of good knocks from the centre, but the first term was all Mossop's.
Certainly was. Let's see what happens this time. Mossop has the run-up. Roberts has pulled off the football before he can get an effective kick away, and Messrs Mossop and Lee will be asked to do the same ruck work once again. Let's see if there's a definite result this time. 3 point margin. Some 12 minutes played almost in this second term. Philip Walsh at the bottom of the pack. So too Mick Roberts. And yet another bounce. They come from everywhere. Mick Roberts, of course, from St Kilda. Philip Walsh from the Western District League.
Via Collingwood.
Via Collingwood, yes. Moss winning that one. But it's Thornton's kick to the half-forward line. And the free kick is going to go the way of Geelong's Marty Christensen. Or is he going to pay the mark? It was a very good attempt. Darcy's alone. Just got to get over the general. Mark Lee playing game number 150 to Mark Boss. Now here's a chance. Brownless has the ball well fisted away. I don't know where Gary Ablett is. I can't see him. Drums under pressure, under real pressure. So too is Boss on all fours. And Anir will get the Tigers. Or will he? To Rioli, out of trouble. Poor hand pass. Rioli will have to do the work to get out of this. O'Keefe drags him to the ground, but the umpire's taking it back because he's saying that Drum infringed upon Ron Thornton. Oh no, he'll give it to Rioli. I thought he was going to take it back to Thornton, but he didn't. And he's gone down to that half-forward line, and it's Hogg. A long kick down towards full forward. The back was Roach. Needs support and has it now. Pickering, a short little pass. Is it effective? No. Mossop caught. Not before he gets rid of the football. Christensen brings it back towards centre wing. Hughes is there, spoiled by Eustace, paying close attention. Back towards Eustace again from Walsh. He finds Roberts, and the Tigers go into attack with a long kick. Roach the flyer, and he's got it.
We had literally no opposition there because Gary Malarkey fell over. And not that Malarkey, I think, had much chance there at all, because with Roach's extra height coming from behind him in that circumstance, he would have come straight over the top, in my opinion. But nonetheless, Malarkey did fall over anyway, as Michael Roach with 2 goals so far to his credit. Now it is 3, and the Tigers go to 5 goals, 6, 36, with Geelong 5-3, 33.
Yes, the Tigers just able to steady, regain the lead, but it's a real seesaw battle here at Kardinia Park. Both sides believing that they can make the 5. And the way the season's going, well, just about anything could happen. This is what they're concerned about, the 4 premiership points today. What happens from the middle on this occasion? It's Lee who goes with that, what's now becoming a typical backhand swipe. Uses kick to half forward. Now here's Ablett. Oh, and he does it beautifully to Couch, and he'll goal. Beautiful play by Gary Ablett. He might be able to lift his arms, but Robert, he still looks reasonably good when he's doing that sort of play.
Yes, I agree, but luck's of fortune, Sandy, because Ablett made no attempt to go for the ball in the first place, and Poole attacked the ball. Unfortunately for he missed it. It came out to Ablett, and so in some respects you could say that Gary Ablett didn't deserve to get it, but really did, and then once he did, he finished it off.
Centre bounce once again. 39 plays 36. The Cats are back in the lead. It's a perfect bounce in the middle. It's won by Mossop. Reynoldsson, a chance to run at the football. It's pushed wide. Slight hesitation, so it's Hughes who goes in, gets it across the turn, and the Cats are alight. Mickey says, I won't have a bounce, I'll have a shot. It's swinging back, and he's done another one. Oh, come in, captain. But Mick Turner now sets Geelong 9 points clear. 45 plays 36 on Seven's big lead.
It's a loose play by Richmond. Michael Turner could easily have hand passed to either Evans or Couch. They were all there, and I think they were all saying you've got all the time in the world. So disgraceful defence by the Tigers.
Centre bounce. 15.5 minutes played, second term. Still no one able to break away, but a 9-point lead. Now to the Cats. The next one's going to be critical. From the centre bounce, Couch ridden into the ground. A hurried kick gathers little distance. Darcy is told no, it's not far enough. So his teammate Mark Yates picks it up, goes to the half-forward line, and you see Peter Francis take the mark in defence.
So Francis. 15-metre penalty had been paid. That was what the whistle was for. And so Francis now goes long, down towards half-forward. Terry Bright up high, couldn't take the mark. Roach taps it over the top. Manton takes it. His kick off the side of the boot, over the boundary line on the full. And so Marty Christensen of Geelong will bring the ball back into play. And there's John Manton. Now it's Marty Christensen. Christensen's kick goes short. Malarkey having trouble picking it up, now does so. Floats the kick towards half-back. Roberts couldn't take it. Coming through was O'Keefe, forces it over the boundary line. So a throwing to take place. 45-36. 16.5 minutes into the second term here at Kardinia Park. Mossop gets the tap down. Hogg took it, now Damien Drum. And Drum doing well to get the ball out. Slings it across towards the centre. Ablett, a lovely mark. Now Ablett, right from the centre of the ground. Got Brownless giving the lead, a 15-metre penalty. A long kick from Ablett. No mark, it's picked up by Evans. Evans a hand pass to Turner. 3 goals for Michael Turner. All in this term. Geelong, they took 8 goals, 3. 51. Richmond 5-6, 36.
And it's interesting, Robbie, to go back in that passage of play. Gary Ablett could quite possibly become, even without a poll, the mayor of Geelong, couldn't he? He is a popular boy.
No doubt that he'd win it.
Absolute street.
He wouldn't have to pay a cent in advertising. Centre bounce.
Handy lead, Robert. 15 points.
Mossop gets the tap once again. Rioli off the side of the boot, straight out towards centre wing. Darcy leads in the race for the ball. It bounces away from Darcy. Bright lends support, so too Evans. Evans and Darcy. Darcy picks it up, throws it away, and over the boundary line it goes. Umpire not being able to see it, so in correct fashion, if you can't see it, you do not penalise it. So from the throwing, Lee and Mossop, both using their body. Mossop caught one too high, and so we'll get the free kick. Mark is not very happy, but there wasn't any doubt about that, Sandy.
Mossop short. Couch. Centre wing. And Landy making sure he's not off. Short again. That's a poor kick. Well, why not go long?
Particularly when you've got a play down there like Brownless, Reynoldsson, Ablett.
Here's Roberts.
It's very reasonable, Marks.
To the centre of the ground, waiting down. State squad member Andrew Buse just pokes one, and there's a free kick. Too high on him here. Johnny and here quickly out wide to Phil Walsh. Now the Tigers need a goal. They want one badly. They got the chance here. Eustace across to Landy. Graham Landy's kick's not swinging back. It's going across the face of goal. Roach!
Lovely, Mark.
So Michael Roach is proving a valuable spearhead up forward for the Tigers at the moment. He's contributed 3 goals and an excellent chance of posting number 4 and cutting this margin back. The margin at the moment, it stands at 15 points.
Currently, Sandy, he is on top of the league goal kicking. Of course, before today, Warwick Kappa had 43. Michael Roach now has 44. Make it 45.
So the Tigers score their 6th goal. They move to 6-6-42, trailing by 9 points. Geelong, who are 8-3, 51 on 7's big lead.
So it's 51-42, a 9-point margin. And I think Gary Malarkey might possibly be shifted away only for the fact that they are 9 points in front. And so John Devine is probably saying to himself, I will back Malarkey out because we're playing quite well ourselves anyway.
Back in the centre once again. Mossop, that characteristic run. Hughes, Walsh, well tackled. Now a chance. Evans, a high, poor kick. One that promotes headaches. Turner, beautifully done. He was looking for Buse. Oh, he just took it a little too far, and Jess Reynoldsson came out. Jess perhaps a little lucky to get away with it. Michael Roberts, no. Geelong fans thinking it may go out of bounds on the full, but just bouncing a metre and then dribbling over the line. Geelong having a good quarter at the moment. They've added 5 goals. Manton, Anir, Francis, flattened, but fairly, and another bounce. Almost 21 minutes played. Second term. 9 points the difference, favouring Geelong. Reynoldsson, but straight to Eustace. Couch in the centre has a chance. He's got to sit and wait for it. Darcy taps it wide towards Terry Bright, who swung back straight into trouble. Darcy tries to prevent it with Landy.
I think he realised as soon as he turned that he'd gone the wrong way, Sandy.
Which way have I gone, he's saying. Yeah. So another bounce.
It's easy from here, though, isn't it?
Oh, my word. It's a lovely commentary box here. Geelong out of trouble again. Marty Christensen. Malarkey. Oh, Ablett got up, couldn't take the mark. Close to the line and, in fact, over. So a throw in on that outer side of the ground. With Geelong, 8 goals, 3, 51. Richmond a 6-6, 42. 22 minutes played, second term here at Kardinia Park.
Jimmy Jess gets a tap down. O'Keefe a hand pass out wide, missed by Ablett. Gets a push in the back though, and so Gary Ablett will take the free kick. Ablett wide on centre wing in aid of a 15-metre penalty. So midway now from centre wing to half forward. Should go long and direct, looking for Brownless. It's a beautiful kick from Ablett. Brownless and Cowie, no mark taken. At the back, it's Smith. Turner came over the top, over the boundary line it goes. So a throw-in will take place 15 metres around from the behind post. Forward pocket for Geelong. 9 points the margin. Brownless up high. Bruns trying to come through. Michael Roberts there for Richmond. Roberts taps it wide. Cowie does likewise. Cowie diving over the top, and he's done quite a good job today, Sandy. He kept Gary Ablett, well, virtually kickless from memory. And Brownless is there now, and I think Brownless kicked his 1 goal before he played on Cowie.
O'Keefe under plenty of pressure. So too was Buse to Ablett, who fires a goal. Really misses. Has not missed on this occasion. How's that for a laissez-faire attitude?
Good play by Andrew Buse, Sandy.
It was, yes. Very good play by Busey. And Geelong score their 9th. 9-3 to the Tigers, 6-6.
Yes, although the credit will go to Gary Ablett with Andrew Buse. He got the hand pass out. An excellent hand pass, giving Ablett in the clear plenty of time to, as Gary Ablett can do, be cool, calm and collected.
This couldn't have been much more casual. Here's the centre bounce once again. Mossop looking down towards Andrew Buse, but he'll have to search again. Aren't used to spotting it up, and I think Damien Drum's perhaps asking the question, look, it could have possibly been a free kick there. Not to be. It's another bounce. Mossop thumped forward by Darcy. Bottled up by Smith. And another bounce, and the crowd becoming a little restless. So come on, can't we clear it out and get on with the game? Geelong fans will certainly want to. They lead by 15 points. Buse kick. Brum's kick, I should say, down to the forward line. A free kick to Ablett. And, well, this is a gimme for Gary Ablett. 25 metres out, 45-degree angle. And the opening of those goals was as wide as the Geelong goals. But this is going to give them the greatest lead they've had in this game. It's going to open up a margin of 21 points if he's successful. Which, of course, he is. And the margin is 21 points, favouring the home side Geelong here at Kardinia Park over the Tigers as we go into time on in this second term.
Good play made by Bruns to get the ball out. And not a good tackle. And Francis has now gone on to Gary Ablett, with Poole going to the wing.
It's been a 7-goal quarter, Bob, by the Cats. Fine performance.
From the bounce. Lee gets the tap. Runs past Mann, who taps the ball on, goes after it again, loses possession. Marty Christensen first there, a lovely blind turn. Spears the kick forward, straight onto the chest of Stephen Reynoldsson from centre wing. Swings it across towards centre half forward. Brownless up high, punched away by Cowie. Picked up by Lee. Breaks the tackle, then runs back into it. Cowie, a hand pass over the top. Finds Rioli. Rioli's long kick towards half forward. Bright and Pickering. Bright comes over the top of Pickering and thus gives away a free kick. Pickering 65 metres out from goal. Too far to score himself. He'll be looking for Michael Roach, I'm sure. No, he goes short. Ania comes out with it, hooks it down towards the pocket. Landy's there for Geelong. And Graham Landy was in defence, but Smith is now on Michael Turner, who has kicked 3 goals for the quarter. So Graham Landy having the opportunity now to kick his goal for the term. And so Landy, very, very tight angle. Left footer. Uses the drop punt and hits the post. So 1 point to the former Geelong utility player. And there's the goal post. No breeze to rock in.
So I think it might have jagged and hit both posts, Robert.
Whatever you say, Sandy. The loose ball's picked up by Rioli. Free kick had been found and gets penalising the side as it comes back to Trevor Poole. Rioli was off and running, but it's still with Richmond. Trevor Poole towards centre half forward. No mark. Could easily be a Geelong free kick. Hocking was pushed in the back. Gets up and plays on immediately. Puts it wide. Bruns and Roberts. An awkward bounce for both of them. Favours Walsh. A hand pass. Misses. Big fellow Jess. Gets good support. Craig Smith comes through towards half forward. A poor kick though, and it's well taken by Paul Couch.
He's at half back. 15 metres against Pickering. So he can kick over the centre. Reynoldson and Jess. Landy over the line. Jess over the top of Reynoldson, and he's given away the free kick. And so Steve Reynoldson is somewhat of an enigma as far as senior football is concerned, is to take the free kick. To a congested half forward, Ablett got shoved out of the way. And they're all pushed down. Rioli's left, receiving from Paul. Poor hand pass. Equally poor kick from Boss. I don't know what he was trying to do, perhaps just chip it. So Francis goes the opposite way. Reynoldson comes over the top and is given away the free kick. He'll go the way of Phillip. Short, he's got Jess alone at centre wing because he's Reynoldson's man. So the Ghost onto Walsh. Over the top, Eustace. Richmond going forward. To the half-forward line. At the back is Malaki. Shows strength. But straight out the back door to Eustace. Onto the left foot. Pickering. He steadies. Fires in towards full forward. Roach is the target. Tries to do it with the one hand. With the other held. And that kick went where, Robert? From Jeffrey Hogg, right across the face of goal and out of bounds. Here's the throw-in. Lee maintains front position. Pickering trying to get there, can't do so. Eventually gets it out. Here's a chance for Manton. Steadies, goes onto the left foot with a hurried high drop punt kick, but he's wide. And 1 point only goes on the board.
Deserved it.
Yes, it did. It was a good effort by the big fella, John Manton. 1-1 is his contribution of Richmond's 6-8. 30 minutes played, and they trail 63 to 44.
Gary Malarkey will bring the ball back into play for Geelong. A 19-point margin in favour of Geelong. It's a nice kick. Torpedo punt kick. Mossop from behind. Manton gets the ball down. Walsh a hand pass at Miss Rioli. O'Neill in support. The hand pass across to Landy. Runs straight into it. Penalised. Boss gives the hand pass to Darcy. Darcy puts it wide. O'Keefe takes the mark. Plays on immediately. Swings it up towards half forward, and Ablett in front takes the mark. That's a bit more dangerous out there, doesn't he, Sandy?
15 well on that half-forward line. He plays on straight away, gives it to Christensen, spears out the pass. Browness was looking for the mark, it's not claimed, so he gets it across to his teammate who kicks in towards goal. That was Damien Christensen. But high and wide. And out of bounds on the full. 19 points favouring the home side Geelong. And the crowd at the moment strangely quiet as Smith brings it back into play. Lee's playing from behind, and that's no good because the mark's taken by Marty Christensen. Well, I don't know whether he'll have a shot.
Well, he will have the shot, Sandy. He has to have it, even though he won't kick it. He still has to have it.
Okay, well, he's had it, but he hasn't kicked it. And so there we go. It's half-time here at Kardinia Park, and Geelong leading 10-3. The Richmond